Why Cenat became so hated.
Kai easily the fakest human in streaming. Stop putting Cenat on my timeline. I hate looking at stupid people. This dude Kai is honestly the most corporate and soulless streamer I have ever seen. Nothing he does is actually genuine. These are just a few of the countless tweets and comments reflecting how people feel about Cenat in 2025.
Yeah, but also anyone who's as big as Kai is, of course, has a huge amount of haters. When you have an audience in the tens of millions, if even just 0.01% of those people absolutely abhor your guts for no discernible reason, that's still hundreds or thousands of people that hate you. This just kind of comes with the territory. So I don't know if it actually counts for anything that there are people that dislike Kai, because of course there are.
But go back just a year ago, and he was celebrated as being the biggest streamer on the platform. Oh my God. Beloved for his generosity.
What you like to do?
I just work. I be playing, bro. I be trying to stream too, but my PC? Yeah, bro.
We gonna get your PC then.
And admired for the genuine appreciation he showed for his fans.
Yo! What's good, bro?
This is my dream.
It's your dream?
Yeah! My boy!
I love you, man.
Kai! Yeah!
So what happened? How did Kai manage to fumble the mountains of audience goodwill he'd built up over the years and become so hated? Especially since he wasn't exposed for doing something horrendous like Dr. Disrespect, or ruined his reputation with deplorable stunts like Johnny Somali. Well, in Kai—
Both of those people still stream, by the way, to huge audiences, it's worth noting. Like, yeah, as much as you might dislike Kai for the things that he did, the people that he's comparing him to as people who did horrible things also still have massively successful careers and are worth millions of dollars.
In his case, his downfall is the result of many smaller missteps piling up over time. From his botched promises to build a school in Nigeria.
I want to do as much as I can to help you guys and just be able to make sure you guys get better classrooms and stuff like that. Whatever they tell me you guys need, we're gonna make sure you guys have good stuff, okay?
To the way he's been treating his fellow streamers.
Those kids had no idea what he was saying. Look at their faces when it pans over to them. Everyone's like, who the f is this guy? What is he yelling about?
Way he's been treating his fellow streamers as of late.
Wait, what? Kai's doing IRL? What?
All right, chat. I'm gonna go to the gym, bro. I don't even know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna see y'all boys, bro. I tried to set up attorney. I don't know.
And to top it all off, he's losing the relatability factor that made him popular in the first place, alienating his audience and turning them against everything he does. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today, we're taking a closer look at why Cenat is becoming so hated by the internet, the many incidents that led to this situation, and what, if anything, he can do to save his career from completely collapsing in the near future.
I feel like most of the criticism level that Cenat right now has to do with his subathon, where if he gets 1 million subscribers, then LeBron James will shave his head. And people are just calling it a begathon, and I've watched part of it, and it kind of is. He's just begging people for 1 million subscriptions. He is a probably deca-millionaire, and he's asking people to donate to him $5 million more. It is absolutely crazy. I understand the big thing that he's trying to do, and if he was donating 100% of it to charity, that would be fine as well. But there's just something about watching a multi-millionaire beg for money that just gives me the ick.
That said, if you want to save my channel from a similar fate, all you have to do is subscribe. So hit that red subscribe button and let's get on with the video. For a large portion of his current fans, Kai is someone who came out of nowhere and was dominating the streaming space in no time. To them, he was an overnight success, effortlessly outshining everyone else in the streaming world. This perception has led many, including Kanye West, to label him as nothing more than an industry plant.
You know, we out here stepping away from a
I don't know how much validity that has, bro. Everything Kanye West says should just be ignored from like 5 years ago through the rest of his life. Everything else, just purge it from the records, brother. You stop talking.
He is like the shit that Kai sent somebody. That's some industry plant shit. He gonna be talking shit about my pants.
So he's an industry plant. He's an
of course, he's the opposite. Total. Fucking that exact genre is the most industry plant.
However, while that's still a possibility, the idea that Kai came out of nowhere couldn't be further from the truth. Because in reality, Kai's been trying to become a successful content creator since 2015, when he was just 13 years old. He started with sketches and random videos on Facebook and Instagram before making his way to
He kind of jiggy with it though, honestly. I mean, like, it's not amazing, but presumably for having had no formal dance lessons, it's not bad.
YouTube in 2018. He didn't see much growth in the years leading up to his YouTube debut, but that didn't stop him from trying again on a new platform. You see, Kai didn't see much financial stability growing up. He was raised by a single mother doing her best to make ends meet. Their family was even forced to stay at a homeless shelter at one point.
He was in the shelter, bro. I don't tell nobody that. I still have shelter sheets in my crib in New York.
So, in his mind, making it big on the internet was his only chance at attaining a better life for himself and his family.
I respect that. Anyone who's like, yeah, my mom took care of me even through the hardest times of us being in a homeless shelter and having to live on the charity of others. And so as a thank you, I'm going to do everything. I mean, Mr. Beast did it. Not a huge fan of Mr. Beast, but he did retire his mom once he got rich and famous. I have a large amount of respect for anyone whose motivation is, I want to help my parents the way they helped me.
And after a few more years of hard work, it paid off. He became close friends with another like-minded YouTuber named Phanom, which in turn allowed him to become part of the AMP group. This was a big break Kai had been looking for the past 5 years. He reached nearly 370,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and was consistently getting around 200,000 views per video. This growth also gave him the confidence to go all in and drop out of college the same year as well.
I officially dropped out of college. The college videos is what made this channel, I'm not even gonna lie. But let me tell y'all something, man. When you know that something is holding you back from getting to the next level, it's like you just have to sacrifice that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to miss college deal. But I just came to a realization that it was actually holding me back in the long run. Off camera, it was just stressing me out. Homework, having things coming on that time when I had to focus on you guys. If I know that my dream could work, I'm gonna put it before.
He later transitioned to live streaming on Twitch in February 2021, and it was only uphill from there. He rose through Twitch's ranks over the next couple of years, becoming a fairly well-known figure on the platform by 2023, with his viewership lying somewhere between 200,000 to 300,000 live viewers every stream.
That is a crazy number of viewers. I mean, that's like top of the platform. Professional esports teams on Twitch get 200,000 or 300,000 viewers for their streams. That is a nuts for like a singular person to have.
This on its own was insane growth for someone who essentially came from nothing and worked for years to reach this level. But just when people thought he'd reached his peak, Kai did something that skyrocketed his career to heights no one thought was possible. In January 2023, he began his month-long subathon called Marthiathon. This ended up becoming one of the biggest events in the platform's history, propelling Kai to become one of the most subscribed Twitch streamers of all time, with over 326,000 peak subs by the end of February.
Anytime someone says how many subs they have, you can just multiply that by 2.5, which is usually what they get. So 326,000 times 2.5, that he made $815,000 that month. Minus like 30% for platform fees, and he's still looking at like $500,000 in a single month. Absurd amounts of money to make off of live streaming.
And while he lost this title to Iron Mouse a few months later, he came back even stronger with Marthiathon 2 in November of 2024, and ended up taking the #1 spot back with over 728,000 paid subs to his name.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Suffice it to say,
So as of filming this, the subathon ended a few days ago, but someone posted a screenshot of the top gifters, and it's Valorant, Snoop Dogg, eBay, Crocs, State Farm, and Bose. It's literally just advertising opportunity for these big brands. And someone else pointed out that some guy's been following for 26 days and donated 7,600 subs, and saying that it seems an awful lot like maybe he was getting his friends to create accounts to donate stuff so that he would hit 1 million subscribers. Don't get me wrong, it's still a pretty impressive feat to pull that off, but it doesn't seem like maybe it was actually authentic this time.
Kai seemed unstoppable at this point. But fast forward to 2025, and the love and support people once had for Kai is eroding with every passing day. He is by no means a struggling creator when it comes to raw metrics. However, the general sentiment surrounding him tells a completely different story. Where he was once considered the ideal streamer, a classic case of making the right person famous, Many on the internet now see him as someone who, quote, ruined a generation. Which brings us back to the question we posed in the beginning of this video. Why? As we briefly touched on earlier, Kai's downfall isn't the result of one massive controversy that tanked his career. Instead, it's the result of many smaller mistakes and a shift in his priorities, eroding the trust people had in him over time. Now, Kai has made plenty of blunders over the years, from teaming up with Mr. Beast to fake setting fireworks off inside his house.
That was kind of funny, actually. I saw the video and I was convinced that his house had caught fire. It was, as far as viral internet stunts go, I think that was a pretty good one. No shade for that one. I don't think people were actually upset about that.
To getting temporarily banned from Twitch on 9 different occasions. Then there was the disaster he caused in New York City in August of 2023, when he promised an in-person PlayStation 5 giveaway to his millions of fans without any preparations. The result was a large unruly crowd that quickly turned into a full-blown riot.
New York police say
this one I think was worth criticizing him about. The other one is kind of whatever. This one, I mean, people got hurt, property got destroyed. There were huge problems that were related to this. There's a reason that when a city is putting on an event, they have police there, firefighters there, all sorts of first responders. They block off the road. They control the number of people there to prevent this exact thing from happening. I don't think it was malicious, but I think it was idiotic and negligent. And I believe that it is worth criticizing that this happened and that he did it.
Cenat promised his more than 6 million Twitch followers that he would
Why does she sound like Firecracker from The Boys?
have free PlayStation 5s to give away at this event.
Kai was even arrested and charged with the crime of inciting a riot. However, while some of these missteps resulted in noticeable backlash, like when he invited convicted domestic abuser Chris Brown onto his stream during Mafiathon 2, or when he and his crew nearly ended the lives of 2 innocent animals during other streams, none of these—
See, both of these are totally worth criticizing. The internet does this thing where all bad things are seen as equal. There's no world in which something as harmless as pretending to blow up his house with fireworks should be on the same level as he's an animal abuser that almost killed animals, and also he platforms people who are convicted of beating their wives. Like, why are those both even mentioned in the same video? The Chris Brown thing alone should be career ending because of what a horrible person Chris Brown is.
mistakes really impacted his career in a negative way in the long run. In fact, things like the New York City riot and the subsequent headlines only brought more attention to him and his streams, allowing him to reach an even wider audience. Instead, the factors that are actually dragging down his reputation are far more recent. Most of them also center on the core idea of him being a fake poser, someone who only says and does what will push his content further. And there's no better example of this than his unfulfilled promises to build a school in one of the poorest regions of Nigeria. It all started in March of 2024, when Kai visited Nigeria and witnessed the terrible living conditions in the Makoko region. There he met the young man running a local school and orphanage. But with little to no resources, dozens of students were crammed into tiny classrooms, while the orphans had to sleep on mattresses laid across school desks. After seeing the state of this essential facility, Kai stepped up and pledged to help the area with a brand new school built to modern standards.
I'm going to help you today, okay? I want to do as much as I can to help you guys and just be able to make sure you guys get better classrooms and stuff like that. Whatever they tell me you guys need, we're gonna make sure you guys have good stuff, okay?
In addition to improving hundreds of lives, this commitment also worked wonders for Kai's reputation, as evident from the top comments under this video, reading, "The fact that he actually went into the slums and helped out the school there makes me respect him so much more. I'm a 45-year-old man, and it brought tears to my eyes to see that 23-year-old man ask for things for his students instead of himself. My respect has grown immensely for Kai and this trip." But then, over a year passed by, and Kai did not share a single update on how the school building project was going.
I think this is a classic example of if he had just been honest with where stuff was, it would have been okay. Building a school in Nigeria is a tremendously difficult thing to pull off logistically. You have to consider that the technology there is not the same technology that's available in the United States, and building anything is really difficult, and building anything without the modern convenience inconveniences we have when we manufacture things is even harder. But a lot of goodwill could have been saved if Kai had just been like, yeah, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be, but I'm doing it anyway. Once a quarter, I'll give an update on where we are and who we're partnering with to make this happen. It was such an easy problem to avoid just by being honest with the timeline of events and the fact that he initially got in over his head, but that he was going to make up for that and build the school no matter what.
This led many to question if any work was being done at all, or if the promises he made on camera were nothing more than PR stunts. The doubt reached its tipping point in August 2025, when an account named KickChamp made a tweet stating, "A YouTuber checked on the school Cenat promised to rebuild, only to find no progress as it struggles to pay expenses and faces shutdown." The attached clip was from YouTuber Go With Ali, who visited Makoko a month earlier and featured a dilapidated school and orphanage in his video. An important thing to note here is that the facility shown in this video was completely unrelated to the one Kai promised to rebuild. KickChamp, whether by mistake or on purpose, framed it as if Ali was visiting the same school to highlight the supposed lack of progress. However, while the clip was misleading, the question this viral tweet brought up was not.
Why would you include that in the video? If it was a guy going to the wrong school and the whole thing was mislabeled and misinformation, I don't know if Internet Anarchist should have added that. It's not like this proves anything, it was a lie.
Why hadn't Kai shared any update on the project he promoted over a year ago?
I mean, that question was there without the tweet. People were curious about this without that lie being added.
What made the backlash from this even worse was the fact that Kai didn't donate a single penny to Mr. Beast's Team Water fundraiser, which promises a year of clean water for one person for every $1 donated. This is the biggest fundraiser Mr. Beast has ever done, with thousands of creators, including ourselves, not only donating, but also encouraging our communities to chip in as well.
This seems more like you start with disliking Kai and then try and work backwards to find reasons why you would. Not donating to Mr. Beast's fundraiser when Mr. Beast has a lot of legitimate issues that could make someone not want to donate is totally fine. You could have donated to the company behind the Mr. Beast fundraiser directly. Nobody knows. Just because you didn't donate to a famous fundraiser doesn't mean you didn't donate to anything at all.
Kai, however, has remained radio silent on the matter. He didn't even pick up Mr. Beast's call when he tried to ask him about it during a charity stream.
Nobody is obligated to donate to a celebrity fundraiser. I think rich people are under a moral obligation to donate to charities and help those that are less fortunate, but if it's not Mr. Beast's, that's fine. It can be some other way.
See if he answers. Yeah, no answer. We tried, GG.
Aiden also offered to match Kai's donation 1-to-1 if he pledges $400,000 to the cause.
If Kai donates 400K, I'll go 400K. If Kai doesn't go 400K, I still got 100.
But this was met with the same silence from Kai as well, which combined with the lack of updates on his personal charity project does not look good for Kai. As a disappointed viewer puts it, first he doesn't donate to Team Water, and now he's scamming his supporters, absolutely shameless. That said, there are many who defend Kai regarding the Team Water situation, pointing out that charity is and should always be completely voluntary, and Mr. Beast calling him out on stream to peer pressure him wasn't a good idea to begin with. On the other hand, however, are those who believe that Kai should have donated long before the situation reached this point, especially since he's more than happy to flaunt his wealth every chance he gets, and even got into an argument with XQC about which one of the two was richer.
And I know he gonna see this, and don't try that watch flexing shit with me, cause we can do whatever you wanna do. Watch for watch house.
Oh no. Both hands in the air. I got AMP's entire net worth on a one USB stick in some safety deposit box somewhere, okay, buddy? We're not gonna go there.
There is legitimately, I think, nothing cringier or less relatable than two Deca millionaires arguing about who has more money. Is that not just a little gross to anyone else? What?
We're gonna go there.
But when it comes to giving money to a good cause, he's nowhere to be seen. Now, one valid reason
he's nowhere to be seen in the Mr. Beast thing, and also specifically the schools. I agree, it's a bad look, but I don't think going after him for not donating to a billionaire's charity is exactly a good look either. Especially when there are so many legitimate criticisms of him, to drag in these illegitimate ones to try and prove a point just feels off to me. Again, the Chris Brown thing by itself should be more than enough for people to be very critical of Kai Cenat.
Fans have brought up to explain Kai's absence from the Team Water charity is that he wants nothing to do with Aiden Ross, which is a whole can of worms that's also one of the reasons.
But it's also legitimate. He's like, hey, I'm not interested in associating with those two people that I don't like, so I'm not going to donate to that. That's fine. Is that not fine to anyone else? That seems like a legitimate thing to me.
Reasons behind people calling him a fake poser. You see, while Kai was somewhat successful when he first started on Twitch, he was nowhere near the top dog he is now. Back then, Aiden Ross averaged nearly 45 times more viewers than Kai. This gap became smaller when Aiden started inviting Kai to his live dating shows. Each one of these invitations effectively functioned as a shout out from Aiden, allowing Kai to reach a much bigger audience and build a sizable community of his own. Eventually, Kai also started copying Aiden in content, with things like rapper streams, something Aiden had been doing for years at this point. But despite Kai becoming a direct competitor, both stayed good friends and even exchanged expensive gifts on occasions like their birthdays. Even when Aiden got banned from Twitch, Kai kept claiming that he'll make sure Aiden is unbanned as soon as possible.
If there's a way I can get Aiden unbanned by December.
Is he inside of a U-Haul? He's inside of a moving truck. What? I feel like this is some stream thing that I don't know about that he did.
I would like to do some Christmas shit with him.
However, somewhere between that and when Aiden got unbanned in March of this year, Kai's opinion on Aiden changed completely.
Everyone's opinion on Aiden should have changed. He's a terrible person. There's a reason that he mostly streams on Kick. It's because nobody on Twitch or YouTube will have him.
He went from genuinely trying to help his friend to capping about being happy for his unban.
Congratulations, that shit is so crazy. I hit him up.
Yeah, that's nuts. Cause I remember when Aiden texted Kai and was like, yo, could you say something about this? This is unfair. How her son get unbanned after one day for saying somebody should be killed and I didn't get unbanned. And this nigga Kai didn't even reply to Aiden.
He started ignoring anything relating to Aiden.
W Kai, man, W Kai. Call Kai? I'm gonna call Kai. He's probably just in the middle of something, you know what I mean?
He's streaming.
Yeah, that's cool.
W's. GB sticker of Kai.
And
I mean, this seems fine to me. He doesn't want to associate with someone, so instead of being dramatic about it or causing issues or trying to stir up some kind of big controversy for the sake of clicks, he just kind of ignores him and moves on. That seems like the most mature way to deal with this is just to not interact with it at all.
He even stopped picking up Aiden's calls in private when just a few years earlier, he was relentlessly pestering Aiden to include him in his streams.
Okay, a lot can change in 4 years though. I feel like this is not that bad of a deal. One streamer refuses to talk to another streamer who's like a certified terrible person, and so he just ignores him and hopes that he'll leave him alone. I mean, that's fine to me.
A fan summarized this perfectly on Twitter, stating, "So Kai completely tricked off of Aiden and now just acts like he doesn't exist. How weird, considering Aiden made Kai. The thing is, Aiden and his community don't have the best reputation at this point. There are many straight up racists in his chat who start throwing slurs anytime a black person appears on stream." Kai also claimed that he stopped talking to Aiden because his manager called him the N-word.
Tav is a white man, by the way. He proceeds to say, from Nike to McDonald's, but bro, keep it real, bro. Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? He on my phone calling me the N-word at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. You supposed to be a nigga manager and you, what's up with you?
This response split the community into two.
Does that not seem like a perfectly legitimate response? And so Kai, instead of making huge drama out of it, decided, I'm just not going to associate with Aiden or Aiden's community or Aiden's manager anymore. Again, lots of things to criticize Kai for, but ignoring someone who is a terrible person and a racist and called him the N-word to his face is not one of them.
Those who believe that Kai is completely justified in distancing himself from Aiden over this, and the others who think that he should at least publicly acknowledge Aiden for his contributions to Kai's streaming career. To this second side, Kai looks like a total fake, someone who got what he wanted from Aiden, then jumped ship the moment things got rocky. Though at least Kai has a somewhat justifiable reason for ignoring Aiden.
Somewhat justifiable? That's the most justifiable reason. If someone was hurling slurs at me, I would also choose not to associate with them.
But when it comes to Jinxie, there was no excuse for what he did, which in turn only added more fuel to the hate coming his way. Jinxie, for those who don't don't know is an immensely popular streamer who became big playing Rainbow Six Siege. But with Siege becoming more unpopular with each passing day, Jinxie decided to play some other games and eventually landed on a mobile game called Clash Royale. And that's where Kai and his AMP crew come in. In July of this year, he hit up Jinxie and asked him if he could set up a Clash Royale tournament for his stream. Jinxie agreed, but nothing could have prepared him for the disrespect he was about to receive. It started with the AMP boys straight up ignoring Jinxie when he was trying to explain how to set things up.
Now, go to social and then go to invite friend. It's a yellow button. Click that and then you copy the
Hey, anybody in the chat want him?
Me about your account.
Anybody?
What do you
Oh, choose your player name.
He's single. Anybody in the chat want him?
So
Anybody single in the chat?
Okay. I mean, this is a painful watch. Yeah, no, I understand people being upset about this. You remember when PewDiePie was on the Sidemen's Among Us thing like 3 years ago, and they were all just yelling and screaming over him, and he was quiet the whole time because of how uncomfortable he was? It's giving the same energy, except it feels kind of malicious.
What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you talking about?
Chris, dead ass.
Want my mans?
Chris, dead ass. Are you dead ass right now?
I don't want to battle, chat.
But if that wasn't bad enough, Kai somehow forgot about the tournament completely and started doing some IRL streaming instead, something Jinxie only found out when his chat told him about it, resulting in him getting disappointed and ending the stream.
Wait, what? Kai's doing IRL? What? All right, chat. I'm gonna go to the gym, bro. I don't even know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna see y'all boys, bro. I tried to set up a tourney. I don't know.
The least Kai...
I feel like Jinxie was actually pretty chill here. He was like, hey, tried to set up a tournament. They weren't particularly interested in having me, and then they started doing something else. No drama to be had here. I'm gonna head to the gym because I'm clearly not wanted here. Like, that's fine. This is like the most mature response ever. And Kai and his crew are the ones that are being weird.
Could have done was inform Jinxie about the change of plans and apologize for wasting his time. But he didn't bother even telling him about it. This sparked an immediate wave of backlash, with Kai's own viewers spamming L's in the chat. Only then did he notice and try to fix things, but by that point, it was already too late.
Al Kai, what am I doing? Why does it Al Kai?
I like how it caught him off guard. Like, why? I was so mean to this random guy who I invited, and then I wasted his time. Why is everyone upset about me for it?
No, tell Jinxie. Matter of fact, no. Okay, yeah. I'm going to Jinxie, bro. He got out for real? Jinxie ended for real? Oh, God.
Not only was this incredibly disrespectful to Jinxie, it also further reinforced the idea of Kai being a fake who doesn't deserve the love and support he once had. Think of it this way, if Kai genuinely cared about the people around him, he would have never left Jinxie hanging like this. Instead, he's a fake who only cares about his viewership, which is why he only responded when his own chat turned against him. That said, Kai choosing to ignore inconvenient stuff until his own chat calls him out on it isn't a new thing. Remember the unbuilt Nigerian school we discussed earlier? Well, as it turned out, Kai did give a response. According to him, the school is being worked on. However, the location makes the construction a lot more difficult than originally anticipated.
Which is a fine response. Like, of course it's going to be difficult to build. You're in an area that's really hard to access, trying to build a school that's already really difficult to build. This is something that every charity constructing buildings in underdeveloped countries experiences. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a lack of communication around it.
And that it would now take more than 2 years to build the school.
That seems about right though. 2 years is perfectly reasonable for building any building, frankly. Especially a state-of-the-art one that's going to be millions of dollars in a country where stuff will take longer to build just because of the technology that's available. Totally understandable.
Alongside this, he also showed a clip of the work being done on location.
They are working very hard right now, removing what gotta be removed and like getting the school ready and shit.
The only issue with this response is that it only came after the backlash reached his own fandom and became a direct risk to his viewership and income. Would he have stayed silent if people didn't demand the truth so intently? Another example of him ignoring the issue until he received backlash was when XQC called out the botting problem on his close friends' streams. You see, some of their streams went from averaging less than 1,000 views one day to over 60,000 the next, which as
if you're gonna viewbot, why would you viewbot 51,000 viewbots? Because your chat is still gonna move like you've only got 900 and everyone's gonna know that you are viewbotting. I feel like the only reason you can get away with a viewbot is if you're going from like 100 viewers, so you've got a chat that's kind of moving to like maybe 1,000 to bump yourself up in the rankings just a little bit, but going from 1,000 to 60,000, no one's not gonna know that.
XQC puts it, doesn't add up.
When the number is like that, it's just no good. Like it's not, and you compare some of these other guys, sometimes, yeah, it's what, like, it's up and it just doesn't add up.
Just has such a way with words. So articulate and well-spoken on stream.
That's motion, brother. 37% validated viewer? Bro, 30% validated viewer? I mean, you have to be kidding me, right? Brother, that's less than 30%. Bro, that's 31% validation.
For those who don't know, a validated viewer is someone who is logged in with a proper account and is much less likely to be a bot. Unvalidated viewers, on the other hand, are ones that watch a stream without ever logging in. Typically, the number of unvalidated viewers is very low for most streamers.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like I spent most of my time on Twitch not logged in because Twitch like constantly logs me out of my account. So I just pull it up and go to whatever streamer. Like I don't really bother logging in anymore.
Let's take Kai's own Mafiathon 3 stream as an example, where less than 18,000 out of the 123,000 are unvalidated. This is normal. In contrast, nearly 70% of Rakai's viewers during the stream XQC mentioned were unvalidated and almost certainly bots. Now, XQC didn't accuse Rakai of purchasing bot views to inflate his own numbers. It could be a viewer who just wants to see Rakai become more popular, or anyone else really. However, streamers can easily see this discrepancy in their statistics. So even if he didn't buy the bot viewers himself, Rakai, and by extension Kai, should have resolved the issue on their own, or at least talked about it. But in typical Kai fashion, he chose to ignore the issue until XQC pointed it out, then got angry at him for it, and after receiving backlash, responded with a yap session that didn't include any rational arguments.
I'm gonna be honest. This is no bias. This is nothing off aggression. This is nothing off negativity. It looked like you eating, gang. Like I'm not even trying to be funny or mean. I'm gonna go ahead and say it looked like you eating just a little bit. And I'm kind of tired of like holding the whole road because I feel like the more I hold, it's not the first time. This is how it looked, Felix. This is me talking to Felix. This is me not really being on some shit. It looked like you eating because it's like it's a pattern. It's like everything something is going good on this side. Like you something got to say. And then when you say it and I say something, it's you was joking.
As one commenter puts it, attacking the person instead of the argument is a sign of defeat. However, ignoring alleged bot viewers on his inner circle streams, avoiding accountability until
Am I the only one who kind of doesn't care when I hear about like, oh, one streamer called out another for potentially view botting and that other streamer got mad and butthurt and called the first streamer a terrible person? I'm just like, are we all adults here? Who cares?
Receiving backlash and leaving Jinxie hanging are just symptoms of a bigger problem, which, as we've discussed so far, is how fake has become for many of his viewers. Where he once represented the everyman, hanging out and having fun with his friends on camera, he's now a corporatized entity trying to bridge the streaming and traditional celebrity culture. To many of his longtime viewers, everything he says or does at this point feels rehearsed. His laugh and reactions seem less genuine and geared more towards farming clips and viral moments.
Yo, I'm gonna be in shape by December.
Fans even joke about him having a stylist for not just his fashion, but everything from his taste in music to the way he reacts to certain situations. Something that sounds absurd until you see him awkwardly standing with a smile at an NBA YoungBoy concert, someone he's supposed to be a big fan of.
It looked like me when I saw a goth girl for the first time at a metal fest. Bro's just vibing. He's definitely high on something. Let him live his life.
Now, credit where credit's due, this fakeness has actually helped him match the vibe of any celebrity who comes to his stream, making them actually fun and enjoyable for the viewers watching for the celeb. But for the viewers who came looking for the Kai they started watching years ago, the current landscape is nothing but disappointing. This disappointment manifests as anger online, thus explaining the noticeable uptick in Cenat hate. Which begs the question, how will all this end? His viewership doesn't seem affected for now. Mafiathon 3 is still pulling tens of thousands of viewers, and his YouTube videos are performing just as well. But that's the thing about slow, steady reputational damage like the kind Kai is facing. It doesn't take a career overnight. Instead, it gradually makes people stop caring about the person they once supported. And without word of mouth or hype to bring in new viewers, it's only a matter of time before Kai starts to fade into obscurity and someone else takes his place as the hot new streamer.
That was why Cenat is becoming so hated. I feel like I thought I would have more to say about that, but it turns out most of it is drama that I don't really care about, and the few things that were really important, Nigerian school I think is legitimate, Chris Brown situation I think is legitimate. I feel like those aren't really hyped on very much, and most of it is like, oh, he and XQC were fighting, or he was kind of rude to Jinxie that one time. Like, I get it, but is it that big of a deal? I guess you can decide. Anyway, thanks for watching.